Hello there, everyone. Welcome to Brew Jackets. It's a fun Blue Jackets themed podcast. My name is Kevin, and joining me tonight is my co-host Hefty Duck. And as always, we always invite people to come on the show. Whether if they come on the show or not, that's a different story. If they do, that's cool. If not, there's always next time. Anyways, we got a lot of stuff to talk about going on in the Blue Jackets world. Three games have been played since the last show that we did, and the Blue Jackets went 2-1 in those games. They beat Buffalo 6-4. The Blue Jackets lost to Minnesota 3-1, and their most recent game this past Tuesday night, they beat Toronto 6-2. We're going to talk about all those games, and we're going to talk about, all the good and the bad and everything in between. There's two new donkey hat winners. We're going to tell you who are those two new donkey hat winners. So, donkey of the game, two new players. We're going to talk about that. Injuries have unfortunately happened. So, we got to talk about that. Happy Duck and I are going to share our thoughts about what are we thinking about the Blue Jackets so far this season. It's a small sample size, but what are we thinking so far this season? Last week's show, I said I would show some pictures from the most recent Union Blue Soldiers March. I got some fun videos and a whole bunch of other stuff to show. So, welcome to the show, everyone.
Hell yeah, welcome in everybody. As always, big shout out to our audio listeners out there. If you too would like to listen to the audio, we post it directly after every podcast, and it's on Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you can find podcasts at. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're watching from YouTube, or check out our YouTube if you're watching from Twitter. We always appreciate that. But Kevin mentioned that the Blue Jackets went 2-1 in the last three games. That actually makes them 3-3 right now. 3 wins, 3 losses. So they have 6 points, and they're tied with Carolina at 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so Carolina, Blue Jackets, and the Islanders all have 6 points in the Metro, and the Rangers are tied with the Devils, 11 for first, and Caps have 8. Pittsburgh has 7. Flyers holding up the rear with 3 points so far. So no one's had like a lot of more games than anyone else right now. I think Washington has only had 5. So anyway, off to a pretty okay start. Definitely some players who have started really hot too. We'll talk about them yet, but first of all, let's talk about the injuries, because this is an issue that it's plagued the Blue Jackets for the last few seasons. It's been rough. They lost so many man games. I think last year, at one point, I'll have to look this up in my article, but I did the math, and they had the most man games lost. But they also had the most penalties called. The least amount of penalties called in their favor. So like while they were playing, the Blue Jackets, opponents had the least amount of penalties called while playing the Blue Jackets than any other team. And just interesting correlation, causation. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. But in any case, the bug's back. It started off Boone Jenner's, possibly season-ending surgery. Voronkov is out long-term as well. And recently, Eric Goodbranson successfully underwent surgery on what is believed his shoulder, possibly labrum. Don Waddell already stated earlier this year that he's not going to go into detail about people's injuries near as much. Like he doesn't want people to know exact details, what's going on, this and that. Timetables are one thing, but it was obvious when Eric he collided with Sean Monahan in the Florida Panthers game, and he went off like clutching his right arm. So anyway, successful surgery. Timeline for him is I think like 46 months or something. So good luck. I hope you get better soon. Good Branson. I hope you heal up great. So the other guy that went out recently was Kent Johnson, and this was an ugly injury. Not much anyone could help. So James Van Riemsdyk was kind of tripped up a little bit by the opponents, and kind of after like he was collecting himself, him and Kent Johnson collided in the ice. So a second teammate collision and a second injury, and Kent Johnson. It has been said it's not exactly known what his injury is, but um, he is also out. Not short term is what is like I think the term they use. So that sucks because he was on a great start. Kent Johnson was one of the people who I was like, I got to buy stock in this kid this year. He's great. He's amazing. And it's so unfortunate. Some other like almost injury stuff. Elvis Merzlikins was out. He sat out a game for what was described as physical fatigue by, I believe, a teammate. And you know what? It happens, especially when you get a bunch of shots shot at you in one night. And it could be anything. Like I said, they're not going to be very open about the types of injuries this year. So he was hit by a puck. He was blocked a shot, and he went for X-rays, but he's fine. He played in the next game. He played the rest of that game he was in, I believe, too. And a couple debuts. So Justin Danforth made his debut. And so far in 3 games played, he's got 1 goal and 2 assists. And David Jiricek also made his debut. He debuted in the loss against the Wild, I believe. And so far, he has 1 assist in 2 games played. So anyway, that's all the injuries. I mean, the new injuries. We talked about the old ones last week and stuff like that, but I'm not sure what is going on as far as why are there so many injuries all the time. It's really, and it's a lot like stuff that they can't help. Is an accident. It's not like they were trying to hit someone else and ran into the boards and did something to their shoulder. No, they collided with a teammate. You can't really help that. It kind of just happens. So the thing is, they still won last night. And they still had a second win without some of their other best players, too. So, whatever this brand of hockey that Dean Evason is rolling with, it's versatile enough that it doesn't require every single top player. And the other day, he was talking about how he was going to spread out the offense through some of the lines yet, which basically brought Cole Sillinger up and Yegor Chinakhov down the second line, which to help to spread out the big goal scorers a little bit. Totally get that. Because, the other thing this does is it allows guys who were maybe close to making the team, who were possibly even like going to make the team and didn't. It gives them the opportunity now to show what they got and to try to maintain that position when everyone's healthy. But we got a comment here from Rinketic Sport Agenda. Hey, Rinketic, how's it going? Hope you're doing well tonight. If you too would like to comment on during one of our shows, you can comment on YouTube, comment on Twitter or anything. We also see that. So usually we'll talk about it. Unless you're mean to me, then we will ignore you or make fun of you. So I guess go ahead and be mean if you want. But anyway, Kevin, what do you think? What's going on with all these injuries? Health conditioning, their diet. I saw Kent Johnson was bigger this year. He had more muscle this year, and it just happens. Freak accident.
It just, for me personally, it just comes down to this: is that sometimes an injury can absolutely be a player's fault, like they did something that led to that moment to them getting hurt, and then sometimes it's just like it's really not your fault. You did everything right, and it just happens. And the way that it's a small sample size, The Blue Jackets haven't played a lot of games. But as of right now, the way that Dean Evison is having the Blue Jackets play, it is a more uh, fast, aggressive style of defense. And when with that, it, from my perspective at least, you are more likely to put yourself in a position where you could get potentially hurt more. Because it's just fast, 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 just go, 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 go. You know, that's
Yeah.
basically what it is. That's what they're doing, is that everything that they do as of now is fast. The offense is fast, defense is fast. When they have the puck in the offensive zone, it's just fast. Put it on net. Quick, 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 quick. And if you put it on net, quickly go get that puck and quickly put it back on net. And when you do that, and they are hitting a little bit more compared to other times. So when you put all those things together, you're more likely to put yourself in a spot where you could get hurt. And that's what that is, because you look at some of these guys and how they're getting hurt. Both Eric Branson and Kent Johnson, they are listening to what Dean Evison wants them to do. They are going fast and they're being more aggressive. And what has happened? Well, they went more fast, they went more aggressive, they are attacking more, both on offense and defense. And what happened was boom, because they went more fast, they accidentally, ran into each other and got whacked. And then the unfortunate reality of that is, because they got whacked, not on purpose, they got hurt. You know, you block a shot, you do this, you do that. That's, generally speaking, that's what it is. You really can't fault the Blue Jackets for what's happened in
Right.
regards to that. It's not like some guy where he's eating terribly and he didn't really take his exercise seriously all summer, and then he shows up and he looks terrible, and then he gets hurt because you didn't take care of yourself. No, it's just, unfortunately, from the Blue Jackets, you know, it's just guys that are just getting hurt because that's just how it is. When you are encouraging your players to be more fast and more aggressive and attack more on offense and defense and hit, you're putting yourself in a position where stuff like that can happen. But to the Blue Jackets' credit, the last 3 seasons that this stuff has happened is that they found ways to win games. It hasn't been totally like the end all be all where they can't do anything good. They found ways to win games because of this. It just got in their way. But then again, on the flip side of that, you wouldn't have guys like a Yegor Chinikov or a Kent Johnson play higher up in the lineup if a Boone Jenner or maybe like a Dmitry Voronkov were normally playing. Or in David Yurchek's case, he's probably not playing right now if everyone else is healthy, if Gabranson and everyone else is healthy. But now those guys are unfortunately hurt. But now we get to see what these guys have in much more higher roles, more minutes. And so far, they're looking good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would even say, too, you mentioned something earlier about the them still finding ways to win games and stuff like that. And I'm kind of blanking on what I said. I totally forget, actually, or what I was going to say. But yeah, they're still finding ways. They're still a full team. They play as a full team. It doesn't look like anything's missing or anything like that. And so Rinketic Sport Agenda, he brings up a good point here. With Brad and Pascal, when we had AHL players, we got slapped up. Now with Dean, we slap up everyone. Yeah, and honestly too. So I noticed that in like last year, there was a lot of speed, and there was a lot of there was some similarities there with like how fast they were playing, how hard they were playing, somewhat. Then they'd run out of steam,
Yeah.
but they would almost get exhausted, and it would get chaotic, and then they would out of the chaos is where a lot of those injuries came. This year, it seems a lot more controlled, and there's a lot more. I don't know. Besides control, there's a lot more accuracy with like their passing and stuff like that. So it's just simply, especially when you hit a teammate, it just happens. Just mistakes happen.
I've
Um,
said this on the show last week, but they're being aggressive, but they're not being stupid about it. There's a reason that they're being aggressive. There's a difference. There's a difference. You can be aggressive and just absolutely stupid, where you're too aggressive and you're out of position, and then you're leaving guys wide open, and then
right.
that hurts you. But then on the flip side of that, there's aggressive, but there's a reason behind it. You're smart about it. You're not being stupid. You're not being out of position. You're not leaving guys open. When you're aggressive, there's actually a reason to it. It's like when one guy goes, everyone goes. If I'm going to pass the puck to this guy, he's going to get it, and then that guy's going to pass, and so on, so forth. There's just
Yeah.
more. There's a reason to it. You're being
They're
aggressive.
thinking a move
Yeah.
ahead.
Yes, you're thinking a move ahead, and you're not. You're being aggressive, but you're not being stupid uh,
Yeah.
about it. And we did have a lot, under Brad Larson and Pascal Vincent, a lot of those guys were minor league guys. I will give them a little bit of credit that even in that situation, God bless them, they still found ways to win games that realistically they probably shouldn't have, but they did it anyway. So and you can even go as back as the 2019-2020 season when they had a bunch of injuries and a whole bunch of other junk. But you know what? They found ways to win games, and they made the playoffs that season and knocked out Toronto. So it sucks that you're having these injuries, but the Blue Jackets have proven under 4 different coaches now that they can find ways to win games even in this situation.
And once the some of like the top guys like they're like Boone Jenner there, Ken Johnson, and once they're healthy again too, you're gonna have these people who have this great experience and were able to, um, you know, hold the place in their stead. And so when they come back, they're just gonna be even more people with good experience and who are doing great.
That
Um,
that does
so
count. That does count for something because later on in the season, let's just say, hey, I need someone right now that I can count on to play at third line. Oh, Matthew Olivier. Okay, fine. We'll put him in there. I know he's mostly a fourth line guy, but you know what? Oh, he's played good third line. I can put him there. I need someone that can play second line. Oh, okay. Cole Sillinger, Kent Johnson, or James Van Riemsdyk, Justin Danforth. I need someone that can play fourth line. Okay, we got this guy, or we got that guy. First line. Oh, we got Chinikov. Like that versatility and that experience, like you said, is just gonna work so good for the Blue Jackets when the time comes when they don't need those guys to do that and they can stick Boone Jenner or whoever else in that spot.
yeah. Um, so yeah, uh, injuries are one thing. They've still been whatever Everson's doing seems to be helping out quite a bit. So let's talk about some of the games. We'll talk about last Thursday the Blue Jackets organization, instead of having their opening night, like ceremony stuff on their normal opening night, they had it on Thursday, which was the second home game. On the first game, they had a memorial ceremony in tribute for Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau. So on Thursday, they had the blue carpet rolled out and all that, and the players walked in through the fans. It was a bunch of cool looking stuff from my angle. And yeah, so the Blue Jackets ended up winning 6-4 that game. High scoring game, 10-goal game. That's pretty awesome. It's really great to see the fans going crazy. 6 goals in the game. I mean, your ears got to be ringing from the can at that point. And there's been a lot of home games so far this year. So like Minnesota, they came in town. It's the second time they played Minnesota this year, and second time they lost. Minnesota won 3-1. And then there's last night's game, which was crazy. So, yes, the Toronto Maple Leafs played the night before against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they smashed the Lightning. Like, it was a huge. I don't remember what the score was at the very end, but uh, they absolutely creamed them, and it was 5-2. Maple Leafs won 5-2 against the Lightning. So then last night, the Blue Jackets beat the Maple Leafs 6-2, and the Lightning ended up beating the Devils 8-5 in a 13-goal game. So, yes, both teams played the night before, but one team seemed to, I guess, maybe come out a little less tired looking. I don't know. Whatever happened last night was great though, and unfortunately too, the Toronto goalkeeper. I mean, the other guy just played last night. It's hard to take the one guy out and put the guy in who played the whole game. So, worked out for the Blue Jackets. So yeah, do you have some clips or anything that you wanted to share there, Kev?
Yes, but it's from the. I can set it up later, but I do have some stuff from last night's game. But I also have a goal that I want to show
Okay.
the game against Buffalo. But first, we'll back this up to Buffalo. So you talk about the blue carpet. That was fun. I did it. It was cool. Generally speaking, I don't do it because it's on the same day as the marches that I do with Union Blue Soldiers. And it's like, well, I can't leave our bar. That's because that's where it starts. And it's like, well, I gotta stay at our bar. Once I'm there, and I can't leave.
Yeah.
You just can't because people are looking for you there. And then sometimes people from the Columbus media show up and they see my face and it's like, can't leave. Have to do that. So, but then the one way in which I did benefit from, uh, having the blue carpet being pushed to the next game was I was actually able to go to it and it was fun and I
Right.
enjoyed it. You know, to anyone that hasn't gone, I think you should try it at least once. It's a cool, fun experience.
And then
You
come over to
know,
our bar for the march.
yeah, right. Then come to our bar for the march. You should totally do it. That's the thing. But when you do the blue carpet, you got these little barriers that kind of, you stand behind them, and then there's the blue carpet, and then there's these cars that they're full of Blue Jackets players, and usually like one or two guys per car. They come out, and then Mike Todd is there, and he announced, "Now entering the blue car." I'm paraphrasing, but it's like, "Hey, Blue Jackets fans, now entering the blue carpet. It's Adam Fantilli." And they just go usually like one by one. Sometimes it's two players, and like you stick your hand out like this, and the players will touch your hand. Now, some players will stop for like pictures and autographs and everything. I didn't do that. I just kind of stuck my hand out like this, and they, touched my hand. So that was cool. And like Stinger, he'll go down the blue carpet. So, that's cool. And, overall, it's a fun experience. So I would do it. If you haven't done it, I would do it. It was fun. And then the game itself, the Blue Jackets win 6-4. And looking back on it, honestly, like, yeah, it was a close game. They won 6-4. But like looking back on it, I never felt like there was a time in that game where like the Blue Jackets we're gonna lose that. Like
Right.
generally speaking, they had a good control of that game the entire game. You know, Yegor Chinikov, awesome power play goal. What a shot. And then the second goal is Kromarchenko, snipe, awesome shot. The third goal, Adam Fantilli. And that's the clip I'm going to show, which is Zakharensky. He's up high by the point. He just shoots it, puts it on net, and Buffalo's goalie saves it. But then there's Fantilli, where he gets it off the rebound and scores. Just awesome goal. Matthew Olivier gets a goal. Kromarchenko, Zach Ashton Reese gets a goal. Damon Severson gets a goal. Danilo Tarasov, he gave up 4 goals, but from my perspective, none of those goals were really his fault. pretty overall, minus giving up 4 goals, the Blue Jackets played a pretty good game. They win 6-4. As
Yep.
for the game against Minnesota,
Oh, sorry. Did you mention Zach Aston Reese?
again, he had a goal against Buffalo.
Yeah. It was a tipped-in shot from Jake Christensen. It
Yeah,
was sick.
a shot. It was a shot from up high from
Yeah.
Jake Christensen, and Zach Aston Reese tipped it in. And one last thing about that is before the game, I'm hanging out at our bar, and I'm talking to Zach Werenski's dad and Jake Christensen's dad. I'm like, oh, this is pretty dang cool. And Jake Christensen's dad said that Jake Christensen signed a free agent, his deal with the Blue Jackets and basically free agency in March of 2020 because he felt that the Blue Jackets were the best spot for him to play. He had like 5 other teams he could have gone to, but he picked the Blue Jackets because he felt that the Blue Jackets was his best spot to play. Well, proven to be correct because he's played a lot with the Monsters and the Blue Jackets.
Yeah.
A little interesting tidbit: Zach Werenski could have gone to the London Knights, but they were really, from what Zach Werenski's dad was telling me, that the London Knights were really pushing hard to get Zach Werenski. But in the end, both Zach Werenski and his parents, they talked about it and they decided against it and they went to go play it in Michigan. Well, obviously that turned out to be a good idea because, well, as we've talked about this on the show many times, that Michigan is historically good at hockey with Big Ten championships and they make the NCAA tournament and Frozen Four and national championships and Hobie Baker winners and everything else. And the amount of talent that they've produced in the NHL is just really good. And the Blue Jackets being one of those teams that have benefited from that. So, and you had to figure that, well, being from Michigan, that, hey, just stay close by at home and you can go to college and still be at home and still being in Canada, So that decision ended up working out for him. So overall, good game by the Blue Jackets. He beat Buffalo 6-4. So that was fun. The game against Minnesota, unfortunately, for the most part, that was awful. It just was. There was some moments where the Blue Jackets did look good. You do get a goal from Yegor Chinikov, so that's good. But it just comes down to this. It's just when you have a 4-minute power play, you don't score on that. That's a big, big difference because you score on one of those, it could be a different game. Heck, if you score on both of them, it's tied up at 3. Maybe you go to overtime and you could still win it. But it just comes down to when the Wild had chances to score, they put 3 in the net. When the Blue Jackets had chances to score, and we put 1 in the net. And also, the Wild have, in my opinion, have taught the Blue Jackets a very valuable lesson, which is this. The Wild play a very aggressive, tight-checking style of defense. It's very reminiscent of what the Blue Jackets had under John Tortorella. It's also a similar style of what the New York Islanders play. And of course, the Blue Jackets play the New York Islanders 4 times every season. So that was a little test to show you, okay, you're going to play a team like this again. And there's a certain way when you play a team like that you have to play. When you play a team like that plays really good defense and does not give up a lot of chances, when you do get those chances, you better put it in the net. Because if you don't, those chances aren't coming back. Those are the types of teams that they're really good on defense. And if you let them score a goal, being down 1-0 is not being down like 10-0. Because now they make it, their defense make it that much harder and they tighten it. It's like a boa constrictor. They just squeeze it and they make it that so much tighter and harder to play against them. The way to counteract that is you need to score on them so that they can't be so aggressive with their defense. They have to loosen it up and be a little more aggressive and take chances. That's how you're gonna have to if you play the Wild ever again, that's how you're gonna have to do it. And
Yeah.
The Islanders play a similar style, and you're gonna play them 4 times this season, and that's how you're gonna have to play them, is that they're gonna play really good defense, and if you get a chance, you better score. And
Yeah.
that so that it takes away their advantage of playing really good defense. It forces them to open it up a little bit.
Well,
So
you know
that
what?
was that game.
I
Well, if
think
you got anything to
we
say,
got a
and then we'll
question
move on to the
here.
next.
Yeah, we got a comment here real quick. I think that Dean Evison might be the perfect addition for that counter style
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you know, he coached the Wild a long ass time. Dylan McNeely from Twitter X, whatever. It's
Fuck it,
always
it's
there.
Twitter. I don't
He
care.
says, "What are your thoughts on Adam Fantilli so far this season?" Well,
Oh,
personally, I've been impressed by him. I I don't think it was quite as like wild as if we were like watching him last season because obviously he got hurt then. And anyway, but pretty solid effort from him right now. He's got 2 goals for 2 points, and being his second year in the NHL,
yeah.
that's looking pretty all right to me.
Yeah, Adam Fantilli, it's a small
Did you see
sample.
that hit he made? Was it last night or like the one of the last games? He hit someone hard. Love seeing
Mhm.
that from him.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, small sample size so far, but Adam Fantilli, you're looking really good and looking like you're taking that next step. And honestly, in my opinion, I think there's a little extra motivation there just because of how his season ended. I think there's a little of like he's pissed off at like how his season ended, and it's like I got to go out there and do better and show what I got. Because the thing was is that this past season he really started to come on strong in December of January of last season, playing really good, and then he gets hurt, and we'll never know how he would have continued the rest of the season.
right.
But if I had to take a guess based on how he was playing, I suspect that he would have continued that awesome play and would have had a strong second half of the season. We will never know that, but take a guess. I think that's how it would have gone. So in my
Hopefully his
opinion, I think he a little extra motivated for how his season ended and be like, using that as extra motivation to just do better and go out there just like 110% balls to the wall, like let's go. I'm gonna try my ass off, and I'm just gonna try really hard. So he's been awesome. I love it. Just keep going. He's been fun to
yeah,
watch.
maybe he'll be able to add these stats that he would have had last year to this year.
Right.
That is a bummer, and it's something that like, doesn't really matter. You don't even think about until you're looking at like Ovechkin. He just needs those few last goals. I mean, if he would have somehow entered the league a year earlier, something, but whatever. It'll be a long time.
Let's
Also,
see.
Dylan McNeely complimented your breakdown earlier. He said you're a genius. Insane long
Oh,
breakdown.
well, thank you.
We got
Um, thank
oh,
you, Dylan. I appreciate that. I appreciate your compliments. The Blue Jackets are one of the things in my life, besides like my family and friends, that I really pay attention to and get into. Like I like other stuff, like I like other sports teams like the Reds and the Bengals and Ohio State and the Crew, and like I like video games and I like video games and but a bunch of others, watching stuff on YouTube and Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and a bunch of other stuff, but like the Blue Jackets are the one thing that I really get into. In part because I am on the autism spectrum, and I read this book that basically says that people who are on the autism spectrum, generally speaking, are more likely to uh, perseverate on like one specific thing and just put all their time and effort on that one specific thing and just be like really good at it. So, like, if I wasn't on the autism spectrum, would I still be as good as so focused on all the Blue Jackets and anything Blue Jackets related? No. So in some ways, in some in some ways, being on from at least from my perspective, being on the autism spectrum has been good for me. So one of those ways being I'm so hyper, generally speaking, because I'm on the autism spectrum, I'm so hyper focused and perseverate on like one specific thing that I'm really good at it. And it affords me certain opportunities that I get to do and certain stuff that I get to do that I would not have been able to do otherwise. So, anyways, but that's besides the
Oh,
point. But thank you for your kind words, Dylan. I appreciate it.
Um, oh yeah, Dylan, we appreciate you. Let's talk about last night's win. Oh yeah, or if you two would like to come give us some compliments, you can comment on Twitter or YouTube. We always appreciate it.
That's right. We all
Uh,
got superpowers, Dylan. We're all good at something. You just got to find that talent that you're good at and use it, run with it, and use it to your advantage. I've done that, and everyone else should do that. Find something that you're good at and use it to your advantage.
hell yeah. So the Blue Jackets, like I mentioned, what we talked about earlier, they absolutely no mercy creamed the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it's one of my all-time favorite things. It's not like I've ever viewed Toronto and Blue Jackets having a rivalry, like, because they don't.
No.
It's definitely other teams, but it's like one of those things where it's like, unfortunately they didn't, but like it's like when your team beats the Yankees or something like that. It's just like it's one of those teams where it's like, look, they have so many fans, like they don't need any more fans, they need more hate. And so anyway, 6-2, the for the Blue Jackets to get their third
Yeah.
win of the year.
So about that game, I'll give my little breakdown on this, and you can jump in on this as well after that. It really just comes down to this: is that minus giving up the 2 goals, they played a really good game there. They just did. That was a 9 out of 10 for me. And it's only 9 out of 10 because, well, you gave up 2 goals. That's it. If you don't give up the 2 goals, it's 10 out of 10. But everything else was awesome because from, first play of the game to last play of the game, generally speaking, you played an awesome game. You played good offense. You played good defense, minus giving up the 2 goals, and it was just perfect. Perfect, perfectly aggressive in a smart way on offense. Perfectly aggressive in a smart way on defense. You're not being stupid about it. You're being smart about it. And when the Blue Jackets had chances to score, they put it in the net. That's really a big difference there. The Blue Jackets had chances to score. They put it in the net 6 times. The Maple Leafs had chances to score. They only put it in twice. You start off with a good start, good first period. You're winning 3-0. You get goals from James Van Riemsdyk.
Yep.
You get goal, then Justin Danforth, then Matthew Olivier. And why that's even big, because you're getting goals from your third and fourth line guys. That's huge, huge. Generally speaking, your third and fourth line guys, they're more defense than offense. But when you can get offense from those sorts of guys, it not only helps out your team, but it takes off a lot of pressure off guys like, Monahan and Fantilli and Chinikov and Marchenko and Cole Sillinger, even like a Zach Werenski, who plays really good defense, but is more of an offensive defenseman. Like, they don't have to necessarily worry about that as much. and they can just go out there and play their game. Just awesome. And then the second period, you follow that up by scoring 2 more goals. You get 2 more goals, and it was, awesome. You get Zach Ashton Reese, and you get Kryl Marchenko. Just awesome. It's awesome. And then, no, I think Matthew Olivier was in the second period. So Matthew Olivier and Zach Ashton Reese. Then Kryl Marchenko scores and okay, so then you give up a goal in the second period. You don't like that, but take that away, still pretty damn good period. Then third period. Only thing I'll say about that is I want to say like the first 5 minutes of that, the momentum was in Toronto's favor because they did score the goal late in the second period. And like you could feel that Toronto was starting to pick up the play, have some momentum. But then the Blue Jackets put a stop to that. And other than scoring that goal, Toronto had nothing going on in that period. Kryl Marchenko gets a goal, and Danil Tarasov, awesome. Again, minus giving up the 2 goals, he was awesome. That was the type of game that was just perfect. You love to see it. That's the type of effort that you want to see. If I'm Dean Evison, I'm going to the Blue Jackets, and I'm saying, okay, that game we played in Colorado was an awesome effort, minus giving up the 4 goals. And then that game against Toronto was an awesome effort, minus giving up the 2 goals. That is the example on how we need to play on a consistent basis for the rest of the season. That's just how we have to do it. And another big thing that the Blue Jackets capitalized, which was important that they did this, which they did, is that Maple Leafs are coming to Columbus on a back-to-back. And it's not just a back-to-back. They're flying from Toronto to Columbus. It's not like, oh, they're flying in from like Detroit to Columbus. Yeah, that does play in a role, that does hurt them, but it's not as big. They're going from you figure that flight is at least an hour to Columbus from Toronto, from another country, and you get in late. You figure that they probably got in at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. or something like that. So then
After playing a whole game.
So what you have to do in that situation is that you have to try your best to jump on them quickly and play a good game. If you have a chance to score, you score. And that's exactly what the Blue Jackets did. Perfectly. They knew that Toronto was coming in on a back-to-back. They were at a disadvantage, and they took advantage of that disadvantage, and they went after them quickly. They scored goals, and they made it hard on them. And you could tell that Toronto wasn't exactly feeling the greatest because of the back-to-back. It happens. Sometimes teams on back-to-backs, that first period, they just look awful. And then sometimes they're able to get going and, they're able to play better and sometimes win.
Yeah,
But
we
in
got
this
catch
case,
on their heels there.
yeah. But in that case, it didn't work out for Toronto. So Blue Jackets, good job. I'm proud of you. You knew that they were on a back-to-back. You took advantage of that, and you beat them. You made sure that generally speaking, Toronto didn't really have a chance in that game. So awesome game, and now you just got to keep going. You just got to keep going. Next game is in Nashville with this upcoming Saturday, so just keep going.
Yeah. I just want to bring up Justin Danforth's performance last night, and you were talking earlier about the guys on the different lines showing up and taking some of the pressure off for these other guys too. Justin Danforth had 3 points last night. I believe he had 1 goal. I think he had 1 primary assist and 1 secondary assist. I think. And I just thought that was cool because he's got 15 minutes and 23 seconds of ice time. And after him, the next points leaders, Zach Werenski, Sean Monahan, Kirill Marchenko, and none of them had all of them have like around 20 or like a little more with Werenski at about around 20 minutes. But then you also get Matthew Olivier, who had 2 goals last night. He was also had played 12 minutes, 17 seconds. So like these guys are making do with what they have and giving it their absolute all, and that's huge to come out with between 2 players, 3 goals of guys who play 5 to 7 minutes less than the top line. Yeah, that's awesome. That's impressive to me, and I just I hope that those third and fourth liners can keep that up. That's awesome.
And
Uh,
Matthew Olivier, 2-goal game. That's just outstanding. I love that. And you know what? I've said this on the show before, is that, I know that generally speaking, Matthew Olivier is a guy that's known as like a good third line, fourth line guy, a little defense, penalty killing, and sometimes a fighter, kind of a tough guy. Sometimes give you offense. But the one thing I've noticed with his time with the Blue Jackets is that over the years, he's slowly gotten better with his offense, and he's become sneaky good on offense. Like, I'm not saying that Matthew Olivier has to be a guy that's like, okay, I need a goal from you. Like, I'm not saying that. Like, if you score a goal, cool, that's great, but I'm not saying that. But it's nice to know that he can give you that if you need something like that, that he's shown that he can be sneaky good on offense if given the chance. And I just like that. And like you said, Justin Danforth, 3-point night, 1 goal, 2 assists,
huge.
just huge, just awesome. The goal that Kirill Marchenko scores last night was just a snipe, just glove side goal, and just blows it by the goalie. Had no chance. Just awesome. It's just awesome. So overall, just a damn good game by the Blue Jackets.
Tarasov played great though too. He had some amazing saves, and I
Oh
really
yeah,
think that he allowed them to take that control early in the game and to maintain it, because I mean, it saved 26 to 28 shots, a save percentage of 929, and absolutely destroyed it last night. Great game by Tarasov.
God,
So
Tarasov
yeah,
has played so damn good.
I know, right? I'm excited to see how he does. I'm hoping that Merzlikins is feeling better again soon too. I don't think. I mean, I thought he played fairly well too so far, but
Y-
uh,
You know, and that's the thing is with the whole. I don't necessarily think Elvis Merzlikins has necessarily played that bad. It's just
no,
the unfortunate reality for him. It's just
the defense didn't do much.
yeah, the defense has kind of let him down in front of him, and then on top of that, it's no disrespect to you, Elvis, but like at a certain point, you can't keep having these things where you get hurt or like you need a day because you're tired or something. I don't even mean that in a disrespectful way, but if you keep doing this, a time will come where your chance to play goalie with the Blue Jackets will go away. Someone will take that spot with you if this keeps happening to you. That's the unfortunate reality. Whether that be Danil Tarasov or Jet Greaves, they also got Sergei Ivanov, their top goalie prospect over in Russia. He's going to be here eventually. It's a small sample size, but right now, Evan Gardner, who they just drafted in the draft, he looks like a stud. He's playing good up in juniors right now.
Yeah.
Eventually, he will be here. So it's like, Elvis, I like you. You've been shown that you can be a good goalie for the Blue Jackets, but you got to take this now because if you don't, someone else is going to
Yeah.
take it. And
Okay.
it's a small sample size, but as of now, Danil Tarasov, you're looking pretty damn good, and you're looking like to be the guy right now. And it looks like you're taking everything you did in that strong second half of the season, this past season, and you're keeping that going, and you're continuing that strong second half of the season that you have, and you're bringing it to this season, and you're continuing that awesome play.
So I really think like we talked about this before, specifically with Elvis Merzlikins too, and how like as someone myself, have severe IBS, and that just takes me out of the days sometimes. Generally, I'm fine with it. It's hard to tell, especially if you're like a top athlete and you have to do certain things a certain way, if that could be bothered with it. And I guess this year as well, I think that having some personal days, or whatever you need might I'd be willing to give them a little more grace just for this year as well too. But we have a comment here, and then we got to move on. Hey, Matt again. It says, "Hey guys, it was so good to see you again at the Buffalo game on the 17th." She's talking to you, I
Yeah,
believe, because I was
she's talking to me because I
at
saw her.
Tuesday's game, not Thursday.
Yeah, so the comment
Buffalo.
that Madigan made, yeah, hi Madigan. The comment that Madigan made there, that's directed towards me because I did see her at the Blue Jackets game against Buffalo on October 17th.
But yeah, love seeing y'all out there. Maybe we'll see some more here the rest of this year yet sometimes. Yeah, at this point, Kev, what else do you got for us? Because then we'll start kind of winding it down here.
So we got donkeys of the game. We got a goal I want to show you, and so much more. First things first, we're gonna go. Okay, we're gonna go with the Adam Fantilli goal that he scored against Buffalo. That was cool. So I'm gonna show that. Gotta first put this up on the screen.
Yeah, we'll describe this for audio listeners as well. Don't worry. I always like
Put
to.
it up on the screen. Okay, so okay. So this it's from this past Thursday's game against the Buffalo Sabres. The Blue Jackets at this point are in the second period and they're up 2-1, and it's a shot from up high, and Zach Werenski has the puck. He shoots it, and Buffalo's goalie makes the save, and Adam Fantilli, he's going to be like way over here, and he's going to shoot it off the rebound and score. Pretty good goal, and I'm going to play it a couple times.
Provorov walks across. A pass to Werenski. They'll shift positions. Werenski sails one, thought of a rebound, score!
It's just so fast the way it happens.
The Jackets get it back. It's 3-1.
I always love a good Fantilli goal, though.
Chili chant here, Columbus. 3 goals. And Zach Werenski and Provorov love this play. You can see how Zach and Provorov crisscross 2 Sabres up in a small area. And Zach Werenski's so good at getting pucks through.
Just roofs it. It's still weird to me looking down and seeing 19. And I'm like, who? Oh, yeah, it's Fantilli. I do it all the time. I see like 1 and 9.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Ken Johnson? No. Adam Fantilli. Like,
see, I'll pause. You can see it. Okay.
That, and it's weird seeing 22 because that's Zach Aston Reese, and wasn't that
Jake Christensen?
who? What?
Jake Christensen.
Was it Christensen? I thought it was the other guy. Oh, shoot, I'll think of it later.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
But anyway, so you'll see, as you see at the point here, Zach Werenski, he has the puck up high at the point. He's going to shoot it. And again, goalie's going to make the save. Puck's going to bounce out to like this area. Adam Fantilli's going to be on this area, and he's going to score. And I'll pause it so you can see it. There you go. So Werenski shoots. There's Adam Fantilli. Puck's going to pop up to this area. Fantilli's going to shoot, and he's going to score. So there's Fantilli right there, and he's going to shoot it, and he's going to pop it in.
I'm sorry. I misspoke there. It's Jordan Harris, number 22, and last to wear it was Jake Bean.
Jake Bean, that's right.
And
That's
I'm
right.
so used to it's just weird not seeing him.
That's right. So then I'll pause this on the replay so you get a better angle of it. Okay, it's coming up right here. Okay. Look at that. There's a little wide open net, but it's harder than expected because, the stick of Owen Power, it is kind of in his way. So he does have, there's a certain way he has to shoot it so that it doesn't get blocked by the stick.
Right. And
Um,
it's like a maybe 45-degree angle
yeah,
at best.
and it is kind of a hard angle for, Fantilli to shoot that. So
Yeah.
it is.
Just
So
either.
there is some difficulty. So credit to Adam Fantilli for, finding a way to shoot it and put it in the net. All right, one last time, and then I'll move on to something else.
Man, the Cannon crew must have been tired after these past couple games. Been so many goals.
Yeah. I mean, let's see here. So this game, the cannon went off 8 times because once when they took the ice, plus the 6 goals, plus when they won. So that, another one. And then, last night was 8 again. So, 8 goals last. So 8 cannons last night because when they took the ice, plus the 6 goals, plus when they won again. So yeah, it's been going up a lot.
It's crazy.
So, anyways, something I do want to share because I thought this was interesting is that a lot of people like to say that the Blue Jackets play directly on the old Ohio Penitentiary. But I saw this on Twitter proving to be that that's actually not true. The old Ohio Penitentiary is actually just to the left of Nationwide Arena. That little square area that's kind of outlined in red right there, that's the actual where the actual Ohio Penitentiary actually used to be.
Interesting.
So I thought that was interesting. I wanted to share that because a lot of people like to say, "Oh, the Nationwide Arena is built on the Ohio Penitentiary." No,
Close.
you're close. Yes, you're close, but you're wrong. You're wrong. You're close, but you're wrong. The Ohio Penitentiary was just to the left of Nationwide Arena. So there's that. Now, we were talking about the blue carpet, and this past Saturday before the game against Minnesota, it was like a kids opening day where they had different mascots from different Ohio sports teams show up. So you had the Cavs mascot.
Oh, speaking of the Cavs, they have their season opener tonight. Good luck, Cavs.
That's right. Best of luck to the Cavs this season. So you had the Cavs mascot show up. One of the Reds mascots show up. Cincinnati Cyclones mascot show up.
Oh, that's sick. I hadn't seen him before.
There he is right there. You had Stingers obviously there with the Cavs. And then we had, let's see here. Another Reds mascot. So there's that. This is from an elevator shot. You kind of hard to see, but you have the 2 Reds mascots. The Cavs mascot is in there somewhere. Stinger, The Bengals mascot is in there. It's just crazy. Like,
Oh, that's
and
hilarious.
you push the button to go in the elevator, and then it opens, and all these guys come out. Like, oh, hi.
That clown car. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So there's that. We have the donkeys of the game.
Oh yes.
First, the donkey of the game from when the Blue Jackets beat the Buffalo Sabres. Here we have here we have Justin Danforth here we have Sean Monahan giving the donkey hat to Justin Danforth. So here we go.
Oh yeah, I muted your screen audio. Sorry. I'm trying to unmute it.
Hang on a second. Well, it's fine. We'll just play it. If you want to listen to the audio, just go to the Blue Jackets Twitter page. So, anyways, we'll try this again. So,
So I guess Monahan has the stall right next to Johnny Gaudreau's. That's nice. That's really nice that they're keeping his equipment in Jersey there and everything. And I do wish we had some audio for this. This is unfortunate, man. Sorry. I don't know why it's doing this. But yeah, it's neat because before Danforth, it was Sean Monahan. For a great game, he played that. No, Megan says that she loves that the guys make the donkey noises as they hand the hat off. Ugh. I need this audio now.
well, go find it on the Blue Jackets Twitter page. That's all I can say.
Unmute. Oh, it might have been muted on your screen because
Yeah.
it says it can't unmute because you're not. There was no audio. Anyway, continue.
Okay. All right. Next donkey of the game. This time, it's Justin Danforth giving the donkey hat to Matthew Olivier. So, here it is.
I still see a pause video of Sean Monahan.
I'm getting there.
Oh. You can try turning the volume up a little bit on the video. Oh, there's Dmitry Voronka. Okay, it's all the way up. It won't. Let me unmute it. The ears from that thing are so tiny. That's funny. It's really annoying that we don't have the audio of this. But yeah, go check it out. I'm sure we reposted it, or you can check it on the Blue Jackets X page, or they probably posted it on Facebook and all that too. I'm not on Facebook quite as much. These days. Anyway, so it's cool seeing Olivier get the donkey. What else you got for us, Kev?
So there you go. Donkeys of the game are, as of now, Sean Monahan, Justin Danforth, and Matthew Olivier. Now, who will be the next donkey of the game? We'll just have to tune in to find out who will be the next donkey of the game. Anyways.
Hopefully there's much more of those because they'll only do that for wins.
That's right. That's right. So, next up, I have some pictures to show you from the Union Blue Soldiers March. And It was cool. Oh, actually, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Oh, here's another picture I saw on Instagram from the mascot thing. There's the Bengals mascot. So there you go. Bengals mascot. So we have right here. Okay. Oh,
What you looking for?
that's right. It's on soldiers. Duh. Okay, here it is. So we had, as you know, Uni Blue Soldiers had a march, and it was awesome. And we had a fun time marching on the Nationwide Arena to cheer on the Blue Jackets. And here is some pictures of the Johnny Gaudreau banner, as you can see in the background.
Oh yeah, nice.
So there's that. And there's that one.
Those are awesome.
They are. They are. So there's that. And let's see. Do I have anything else to share? I don't think I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. That's
I was gonna say, I got a couple photos. I'll have to share them next week. Got some pretty good ones today, or not today. Last time I was there.
Okay, so there's a picture of the banners on the march and the banners on TV.
Re-add it to the.
Oh, that's right. Dirt. Hey, I did the meme. I forgot to add it to the screen. Ha.
Yeah, sorry, audio listeners. We'll describe it a bit for you. All right. So, what do you got here?
So the march was on
news.
Yeah, the march was the Union Blue Soldiers march was on TV, 10 TV and NBC4, and 10 TV. Someone took this screenshot from 10 TV and put the march on TV.
Cool. Yeah, I remember seeing them there in front of us. And yes, if you see the ground here, it was raining the whole time.
Yes. Raining and cold and a little hail, but I don't care. We did it anyways because people are like, oh, Kevin, it's raining out. Are you going to change the day of your march? Like, no. I've been planning this since July. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm not changing it.
Everything's been placed for months.
And like I had people that show up just for this game. I'm not going to tell no. And people from the Columbus media are showing up. So like, no, I'm not. I'm not changing it. That's just we're not doing that. Let's see. Oh, also, we just got a little video to show of Blue Jackets prospect William Whitelaw just walking into a game with a nice suit.
It's the one here with the necktie and the Jordans. Gotcha.
Yep. There he is.
That's cool.
So that's it. He didn't score any goals or anything last weekend, and that's the only thing I could find of him that Michigan posted.
Right on.
So that's what you get for this week. Maybe he scores a goal next week, and I can show that. Anyway, so let's see here. There's that, and is that? Let's Let's see here.
Headphone warning.
Yeah, oops. I didn't. Let's see here. Do I? Or where is it? Oh, duh. I know, not being there. Organized here.
What? How much more you got?
I'm almost done. So, mascot shenanigans, because I like mascots. It's the Bearcats mascot. He's funny. And then I'll
So for our audio listeners here, the Bearcats mascot was like hanging out on top of the meat section at a grocery store.
yeah, and
It's
he's
funny. Do you mind turning that down a little bit on your end?
oh, yeah, we got that. So just
Cool, thank you. They're messing up the produce. Hey, someone has to clean that up. So who is that? The Houston, the UCF?
yeah, because it's Big 12 Media Day for college basketball.
Oh, okay.
So that's a lot of the Big 12 schools, and
Gotcha.
they have them hanging out with stuff. So
That's pretty good. That's fine. Riding around the store in little mobility scooters. When I do that, I get kicked out. Weird.
So that's good. Anyways, okay, so so two last things for me, and then we can get out of here. Is that I'm going to do this every time on the show now? Is that I wish you were still here, Doc. You're a big hockey fan, and I miss you, and I love talking hockey with you. And I wanted to get you on the show, but didn't get that chance. And I know you would have loved going to a Blue Jackets game. Big hockey fan, big Union Blue Soldier supporter. So miss you. Wish you're still here. But shout out to you, Doc. So wish you're still here. Go like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That like, share, subscribe. That really helps out our channel. So please go do that. And yeah. And then one last thing for me is you should go check out Union Blue Soldiers. It's a fun Blue Jackets themed fan group that I do. We do a lot of fun stuff like the marches and so much more. So check us out. Follow us on social media, and go check out Union Blue Soldiers, a fun Blue Jackets themed fan group that I run. All right. I'm done talking. I'm out.
Hell yeah, brother. Well, yeah, this has been yet another episode of Brew Jackets. Don't forget to hit all the buttons wherever you're at. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe. If you're on, for anywhere else, I guess the only place would be Twitter. We're trying to get our Facebook back up, but we just had to restart a new page, so I don't quite have as many follows and likes on this one. So if you do want to check that out, we are the Brew Jackets Podcast on Facebook. It is the one with our current logo of the beer mug with the Kepi on top, not the one with the C, with the beer mug with the Ohio flag. But anyway, thank you all for joining us, and we will be back here in next week is something different. So if you want to tune in next week, we are going to be live on Tuesday evening. We have not exactly decided. We haven't discussed the time. I'm assuming 6, but maybe 7, possibly. Just keep an eye out. We're going to be posting it on our Facebook, on Twitter, X, whatever. So keep that in mind, and we will see you all then. See ya.